So I waited to do this video. I just heard somebody on the radio come across a lady saying she was a diesel doctor or with the diesel doctor or whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna key up in a sec. I'm gonna ask for the prices, and then I'm gonna explain something to you real quick. Okay, why you might not want to use one, or you want to make sure one's reputable. If you do, it's best to go to, if you got a Peterbilt, go to Peterbilt. Let's see. If you got a Freightliner, go to Freightliner. The thing is, this is the truth about it. Nobody's going to tell you the truth about it, but I'll tell you the truth about it. There's a code in the computer in your truck. Okay, a 4-digit code that your company locks it up so you can't just go in there with a laptop and turn it up. Diesel doctors have all those codes. Every company out there. That's the truth of it. And they can turn your truck up so that you can, instead of doing 60 or 61 mile an hour and getting nowhere fast, you can do the speed limit, which is 70. If it's not a split speed limit, you know. They turn the trucks back and they get worse pulling power. It really, when you take a truck and you castrate it, you turn it back, it has less pulling power throughout the range. It doesn't just cut off the fuel at a certain range, it cuts the horsepower. So there's several different ways that you can turn a truck up or even turn one back. If you turn it up, you can turn up just the speed. You can turn up the horsepower and the speed. You can turn up just the horsepower, but you're going to lose if your truck's turned back, because you, like I said, you lose horsepower on the power curve when they start messing with cutting the truck off. It doesn't just cut it off where it's at, it cuts it off all across the board. It's almost like you're cutting your horsepower too. So don't believe a word I'm saying, but they're on here on the radio, and I've heard bad reviews of, hey, I've had to take my truck and finally get it worked out and they had to reprogram it or whatever. Just listen. Hey, diesel doctor.
Yeah, go ahead.
What are your prices?
If we do the speed on the truck, we charge 100. If we do anything else, it's a flat rate of 2. But we don't charge anything just to check it out.
You said you don't charge anything to check it out, but you said it's 100 to turn it up, you said?
Okay, say that one more time?
You say it again then, it's 100 to turn up what, the speed? You said it's 100 to turn the speed up?
The boss man about that, I know we've worked on some RV Cummins before.
Oh, he's asking about RVs. They got somebody else on the line.
Yeah, 10-4, I'm not sure. But I can always ask the boss man. Like I said, we've worked on some before. I just don't know if it just depends if it has a plug or not. And I can't make you out. You're breaking up real bad. Honestly, it just depends. I've seen some under the dash, but then on rare occasion there are some under the head and the back where you have the RV motor.
They even turn up RVs.
Alright, just let us know.
So you were saying, no, it was 100 to turn up the speed or the horsepower?
100 for the speed. If we do anything other than speed, it's a flat rate of 200.
So flat rate of 200 to get the speed and the horsepower turned up?
Yep, to get everything done.
Okay, appreciate it. Y'all come out to the truck stop, or we gotta come to y'all?
We have you guys park at the Pilot.
Oh, okay. I'll be back with you. So,
Have a good day.
y'all hear that? So, like, I'm just gonna warn against that, because just anybody getting in the computer in your truck, okay?
Anybody else out there looking for that diesel doctor?
And see, diesel doctor. Just letting anybody into your truck. I mean, first off, you could be set up to, get robbed if you think about it. But letting somebody plug up something to your truck, you run the risk of you having to have your computer reprogrammed. You should see some of the reviews of different places. There's one that's supposed to be reputable. Like I said, I just trust Freightliner. But here's the thing: let's say you buy a used truck and it's got a code in it, okay, from the previous company, but you know what the company was that had that truck before. They have the codes. for the company. And then also, you know, if it has no code, or they can take the code out, and they can make it. Here's how it works. This is just the truth. Now I'm putting the truth out here, so hey, this is just truth. Don't get upset. The ones that don't like it, I'm telling the truth. So here's how it works. They'll turn it up, and they can do the pedal off. You know, when you're going down the road, you hit the pedal all the way down to the bottom, you know, and then if you put your pedal all the way to the floor, you're going what your company has you set at, okay? But they're going to catch you with this shit. So I'm just telling you, that's why I'm telling you, they're going to catch you anyways if you try this mess. They will catch you. They'll catch you from your logs. They'll catch you from your time you went from point A to point B. But you mash down on the pedal, and you're doing what the company set the truck at, 62, 65, whatever. Then you let up. So if they road test it, they're like, well, no, it only goes that fast. Okay, but they could check in the computer and reset it, and then you're just out the door, you're reset again, and you'd have to pay to have it done again. But the pedal off is whenever you mash it down on the floor, and then let up, then mash it down, then let up. I mean, you're just letting up just a little bit, not even to let off the fuel. You do that 3 times, and on the 3rd time when you mash it down, it'll go up as fast as what you want it to be. So
Like that, safety is drilling, you got to put them in.
if anything, like I said, I'm telling the truth about it, but there's people that still do it, and we're doing what we can do out here to make a living, and some people have you know, decided that's what they need to do. If that's what they need to do too, that, you know, that's one way of turning it up. The other way is turn it up where just the cruise control sets it. Okay? So if you have your foot to the floor, it's doing that speed. If you hit the cruise control, you know, that's different. So there's a lot of these company trucks out here that do more than what they should, and that's why. And so if you get in one, you're like, man, this thing goes faster than I thought. You know, hey, well, you're still gonna get a ticket, and your company can actually fire you for having that thing turned up higher than they want it to be, and they will catch you from your log. So this is just a little something, like I said, I was going to tell about the diesel doctor. Here's why. Some of them, this guy says, man, my truck was running like crap, it was getting horrible fuel mileage and all this stuff. They did something to it, and he said all he had done was turn the speed up. So I can't tell what that is. So anyways,
You got to come.
he's helping him back up. So anyway, so I just wanted to tell you guys, you know, look, it's at your own peril if you want to do that. And even at Freightliner, I've heard of these newer trucks. They've turned them up and turned up the horsepower to 600, and they're going down the road, and every time they drop the clutch or let in gear or whatever, it's like being hit in the back by a dump truck or something. It slams the transmission. And so this one guy said he had to turn his back down. I think he said he turned it back to 500. You got to have the transmission turned up at the same time. So if you mess around with these people and you have your truck turned up to speed, but then you have your transmission, you ain't touched it computer wise, but then you turn up the horsepower, something about that transmission does that, and they have to set that. So I know of a Freightliner that was actually a independent place that uses the Freightliner name over there in South Carolina. Stay away from them too. That shop ripped me off, and it did the other guy bad, and everybody was coming in there saying, hey, you know, you didn't do the right work. So, but I'm just being honest with you about having it turned up. You got to turn. You don't just turn up your speed and your engine horsepower. You got to change the parameters for the transmission, or it'd be like you got kicked in the tail, almost like you got a bad like an automatic transmission with a stall converter. You need a stall converter. You putting that much power to it. So you can get this thing, like I said, you can get on here and holler at them, and you can have your truck turned up if you want to, but it could be a mistake. So that's it. I'm gonna drop this just like that, like it or not. It's the truth. Y'all do what you do. I would say stick with your manufacturer of your truck, or you could go in have to have a whole new ECM put in there if they mess it up real bad. I've never heard of a whole new one. Now you could have to have it reprogrammed for sure, and then you're paying anyways. So that's it. Y'all stay safe. I'm out. Peace.